I guess we need to talk about what's happening in Portland, Oregon. We need to talk about what's up with the stormtroopers in Portland, Oregon. What they just did recently has really elevated this story to another level, even for those people who are disaffected, who always side with the state and always support police and always look at regular people that are just like them as scumbags because the state is the hero, and that by extension the military, the police, what have you, jails, these things are the heroes of our communities, of their communities, in their ideology. What's happening there right now is atrocious. Look at this. John Cusack sent out this tweet. This was last week. I tweeted this out. Trump bar unleashed stormtroopers in Portland. Yep, secret police abducting protesters, shooting a protester in the face with a rubber bullet. Under no constitutional authority, lawless. You like this fascism? And then there was this. These are some of the Portland's finest, I guess. Okay. No, these are the stormtroopers in question. These are people wearing generic police uniforms, but they're not police. They're not Portland, Oregon police. These are people hired from DHS and other agencies to come in and quell and to somehow, I don't know, basically grab people off the streets in Portland and put them in the unmarked vans. Oregon Attorney General sues federal agencies over Portland arrests. Says the tactics are similar to kidnapping. So we covered that story. The lawsuit was filed on Friday in Oregon U.S. District Court. Says the agents violated the civil rights of Oregon residents using unlawful tactics. It comes after federal authorities allegedly injured and threatened peaceful protesters and seeks to bar the agencies from arresting people without probable cause or warrant. So they're violating all types of constitutional rights as they lay hands upon individuals just for being there. You're not constitutionally allowed to just beat up citizens because you have a badge. There are protocol. There are very, very low hoops to jump through to do that, but there are hoops nonetheless. And these people who have been sanctioned to come into Portland are not even making the attempt to appear to step through said hoops. Now, all of this was going to be ignored pretty much by the conversation between if you should mask or no mask, or if mask is on Sundays or Saturdays, and what is mask, and to unmask and mask and face on and face off. But this happened, and I believe this will stem the tide and change the narrative.
And this disturbing video shows the agents beating a Navy veteran with batons and then dousing him with pepper spray when he says that he was trying to engage them in a civil conversation. That Navy veteran, Chris David, is joining me now. Chris, thank you so much for being with us. Just walk us through what happened that night as you were there, I guess, trying to speak to the what officers or troops. You tell us what happened.
Well, yeah, that was actually the primary reason that I went down to this protest, since it was my first one. I wanted to see if I could have a civil discussion with these federal agents, officers, and ask them why they felt that it was okay what they were doing, that I felt that they were violating their oath to the Constitution. And so what I did in preparation for that, I put on my Naval Academy sweatshirt, my Navy wrestling hat, and my backpack with all my CB patches, under the presumption that they would respect that and maybe talk to me instead of treat me as some other protester. That didn't work out at all.
No, that did not work out. And we see the video of what then happened. You just turned away. I mean, you had a signal for them as you turned away, but you walked away from them as they were beating you.
Yeah, I got a feeling things are going to change a little bit. The narrative's going to switch up because they beat up an older white guy who's a veteran. It's going to be very difficult to frame him as some weirded out hippie that's smoking too much weed who's breaking into buildings. Navy veteran Chris David, 53-year-old, told CNN that he had never been to a protest and he was enraged when he saw federal officers on the scene and wanted to ask them what they were doing there. Officers from federal agencies have been spotted in the city taking protesters off the street, arresting them, putting them in unmarked vehicles over the past week. He said, I was going to ask, didn't even get an opportunity to ask, why they weren't living up to their oath of service, the Constitution. All I wanted to do was ask him why. As you heard him say, he put on his Navy gear. See, it's going to be a little difficult for those patriotic individuals who always support the state and the armed forces and the military. That's what they hang their hats on. It's going to be difficult for them to explain away why this military vet who put life in harm's way, put his whole very existence, his able body. Hey, I didn't catch his name there, but did you hear his response? Well, is this the CNN guy got him pretty good? Oh, is this what you meant when you said that the officers were under unusual situations, conditions there, as they were beating this man who was doing nothing? Well, I don't think they're with our agency. I don't know what agency they're with. No, but look like this makes sense. Does this look legal? Is this protocol for 4 or 5 military personnel or police, whatever they are, law enforcement, serving in a law enforcement capacity, to be beating a man who has his hands up, who's standing there, doing nothing? Hell, he didn't even move when he got hit. And did you see that one put a lick in as he walked away, hit him in the back of the head? Did you notice that, Johnson?
You can see this, but this happened over the weekend.
Yeah, I cannot.
Chris David is a 53-year-old Navy veteran. You can see him. He's the large man there. Our audience can see him. You can't. But he's standing still, and
yeah, it's going to be kind of difficult to explain that away. He said, I was hoping they wouldn't shoot me because one had a weapon pointed at my chest. See, you couldn't really see that part because he's such a big guy. This may end up being part of the catalyst that reverses this thing. Really, this is Trump's doing. The Trump that put these troops in these cities to combat, to try to stem the protests, he's doing nothing but making it worse. Instead of listening to citizens, and instead of creating a dialogue, instead of suggesting that maybe they have vital criticisms or injuries that they want to discuss with their country, their local state governments, Donald Trump's calculations has been, maybe it's better if we appear strong and we just beat their asses. That's probably the best way to handle it. And I don't think that's going to shake out too well for Donald Trump. And when you see stuff like this, and let's just face it, when it ain't young people, when it's not young people who look like they smoke marijuana, and if it's not black people who look scary from the age of 12 to 92, you can still look scary if you're black. It becomes a little difficult to explain away. I mean, I haven't seen an atrocity this bad by police recently since George Floyd, other than that older white guy getting pushed down and his head cracked open by those officers. Is he okay? He kind of faded from the news. See, they were able to get away with that one because Donald Trump himself came out and smeared him and said that he was an operative with no evidence. Well, what's he going to do now about this Navy vet who's very clearly being beaten by people Trump sent in? What's going to be the spin now? Now, I'm not a CNN guy, but they did reach out to the Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. Marshals for a comment, but they haven't heard back yet. Let's see if Trump tweets about it. I'm sure he will. I mean, he's going to have to say something. He likes to discuss all other things. This will be one for you, Trumpy. Not just a symptom of the problem, a problem. I said it first. By popular demand, Johnson is here. I have new Johnson designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious, they are revolutionary, and they're all Johnson. You're going to love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. Both parties suck, Johnson. We are here. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack.